Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Luke Beller with the Sideline Scoop. So today I wanted to take a look at some Antonio Brown news. There hasn't been too much news going around the NFL right now with all the things that are going on. You know, training camps aren't really happening yet. None of that stuff is happening. So I thought that this is some news we could take a look at and really see what it means and really what could happen with Antonio Brown when it comes to the 2020 NFL season. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Luke Beller and I put out videos about fantasy football as well as the Green Bay Packers. So if you're into either of those things, feel free to subscribe to the channel down below. All right, so let's take a look at this Antonio Brown news. So it came out, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, sometime really recently, that the Ravens and the Seahawks were talking about possibly signing Antonio Brown. And it actually came out like yesterday that actually the Ravens are like, oh, actually, the Ravens aren't really interested. That they basically said they're not earnestly considering him. So maybe it was some fake news. I don't know exactly, but maybe the Ravens do have a little bit of, I guess, interest in him, but they're sort of like, no, we don't. So maybe they're trying to keep it a secret. Maybe they don't want anybody to know, or maybe someone just made up a lie and it's not actually true about the Ravens. But one thing to keep in mind is he did work out with Antonio Brown, worked out with Lamar Jackson sometime in this offseason. And so maybe that is something, I mean, if he's working out with the quarterback, you probably think there's some conversation going on there. They probably talked a little bit like, hey, you'd probably be a good guy on the team. He's probably like, yeah, I probably would be. And when you take a look at that Ravens offense, they have Marquise Brown and a couple other guys, but not really elite talent. But I do think Marquise Brown is a really good wide receiver. But I think Antonio Brown would still be head and shoulders over any of those guys. And so who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not with the Ravens. I guess we'll really have to see. But also the Seahawks are interested as well. And that was some news at the end of May talking about, I know there was news about Russell Wilson saying like, oh, we should get, I really want Antonio Brown on my team. And so it'll be interesting to see if either of those teams do end up getting Antonio Brown. When Antonio Brown did leave the Raiders, was it last August, when he was having all those problems with everything that was going on, his helmet, his like foot freezing or whatever that was, all those sort of crazy things going on. The Seahawks Pete Carroll basically said that initially they were wanting to sign him from the Raiders, but then the Patriots got him, and then the Seahawks picked up Josh Gordon instead. And so when it comes to Antonio Brown, of course he has so many off the field issues, and even if he does come into one of these teams for 2020, he's likely going to be suspended. It's most likely that he'll get suspended, basically. So I think that when we take a look at that, like he could be out, I don't know, 4 games, 8 games, the whole season. I don't really know, but I think Peter King was saying that if a team got him, it would mostly be because, you know, they would want to use him in the playoffs. So could he be suspended the whole season? I honestly don't really know. But that's sort of one thing to keep in consideration when these teams are signing him. But regardless, I think that when you take a look at the Seahawks, they were willing to take a chance on Josh Gordon, who, you know, always had lots of off-the-field issues. And so it makes sense that they would be fine taking a guy like Antonio Brown. And so I think with this news, it just sort of shows that I think Antonio Brown will likely get on a team. Because if 2 teams are talking about it, I bet you there's even more teams who are just sort of talking about it behind the scenes, because Antonio Brown's a guy who I still think can play at an elite level. He's still 32 years old, and I don't think his best days are behind him at this point. Because if you take a look at his stats from 2010 to 2019, when you look at PFF, Pro Football Focus, he remains the highest graded wide receiver who saw at least 300 targets. So he has basically been the best receiver in the NFL for the past like 9 or 10 years, and I still think he has that ability when it comes to playing the wide receiver position. And so I think it would make sense that he would end up on a team. So we'll have to see what happens. It'll be interesting to watch and see who decides to take a chance on him, if they will take a chance on him. And then, of course, could there be some more drama with the team he gets on? I mean, when we look at the past, it seems like it would be likely that would happen again, because he seems to not be able to, I guess, keep himself together very well. But I guess they just want him to be able to play well in the field, and hopefully he can solve all his other issues as well. But yeah, that's basically the news I wanted to talk about. And so that's going to be all for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to hit the like button, the like button, not the like button, but the like button down below. And that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.